Hey everyone, welcome back to Rooster's weekly video update. On Monday, Prime Minister Boris Johnson laid out a roadmap out of lockdown with key touchstones for opening up the country on the 8th of March, the 29th of March, 12th of April, the 17th of May, and the 21st of June. These dates are conditional on certain criteria being met, like the vaccine rollout continuing to go to plan. The aim is for all restrictions to be lifted by the 21st of June at the very earliest. And First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has also announced details of Scotland's path out of lockdown, with restaurants and non-essential shops opening on the 26th of April at the earliest. Northern Ireland and Wales will outline their plans in the coming weeks. Greece is in technical talks with the UK over allowing Britons carrying a vaccine passport to travel to its tourist hotspots from May, despite concerns in Brussels and other European Union capitals. Thea Harris, the country's tourism minister, has said he hoped to dovetail with Boris Johnson's roadmap for allowing Britons to travel, but he refused to be drawn on whether Greece would break with Brussels to establish the scheme. Spain hopes to welcome back British tourists this summer as well, the country's tourism secretary of state, Fernando Valdez, has said. Mr. Valdez confirmed Spain was canvassing the European Union and the Organization for Economically Developed Countries to agree to a system of vaccine passports to increase tourists' mobility. Spain will not bar tourists if they do not have proof they've been inoculated, he stressed, saying that there would be part of a series of measures to allow British holidaymakers to return to the coast. Jet2 has reported a 1,000% increase in sales following the lockdown announcement, despite an official start to foreign holidays still to be given. Spain, including the islands, is one of the most popular bookings for Brits, along with Portugal, Greece, Cyprus, and Turkey. Michael Gove will lead a review into vaccine passports, Boris Johnson has confirmed. However, the Prime Minister admitted that fervent libertarians would object to any proposals whatsoever to use certificates of immunity to unlock parts of the economy from COVID-19 restrictions. He also said it would be wrong to discriminate against people who can't or won't get vaccinated. The catering and domestic hospitality industry has been disappointed as the full reopening in England's been put on hold until May without an extension of the furlough scheme. Elizabeth Haig, operator of May London in Borough Market, said if most restaurants are not allowed to operate as fully as possible until mid-May, there's going to be this gap in between where we're going to be short of work, money, and hours for our staff. She said there needs to be more extended support for the furlough scheme and, if possible, an extension to the VAT cut. Meanwhile, travel industry leaders have largely welcomed the government's roadmap for reopening the economy. Tim Alderslade, the chief executive of Airline Association Airlines UK, said that he's grateful to the Prime Minister and the Department of Transport for providing the clarity the sector was looking for, so that international travel can reopen this summer as soon as it is safe to do so. However, Home Secretary Priti Patel has said it is too early to book holidays, only a day after the industry saw booming sales as the 17th of May restart was penciled in. Over in social, after last week's sudden clampdown on a really broad definition of news pages in Australia, Facebook is restoring those pages. Some non-news businesses fell under this blunt scope, so the ban hammer is lifting, even as both houses of parliament passed the news media bargaining code that prompted the move in the first place. The gist of the amendments to the code is that platforms now have 2 months to make a deal with a publisher before being taken to government arbitration. So there is still an element of market negotiation available, but it is, again, it remains unclear what constitutes a publisher. In more straightforward news, you can now embed Pinterest pins into Microsoft Word Online and Microsoft OneNote if you'd like to. OneNote makes a bit of sense given that people use it as a virtual notebook and people do use Word the same way. Microsoft says that teachers in particular have been calling out for this functionality. And LinkedIn is rolling out new pages updates to help build your brand's community. Internal research apparently shows that employees are 60% more likely to engage with posts from coworkers and about 14% more likely to engage with their employers' content than other brands' content. So there'll be a new My Company tab. It's all about encouraging that sense of office community. They'll also be expanding LinkedIn stories into stories for pages, and all pages will have swipe up links from the outset. Twitter's also relaunching a warning test of potentially harmful tweet replies. They experimented with the warnings last year, but they're returning the format now for the tweets that have harmful or offensive language in them. Facebook's rolling out the in-app shop section to businesses in the UK and Canada. It's another step further down the native e-commerce road, but do expect Facebook Pay to start jumping into the middle to recoup some of those foregone advertising costs that Facebook would have otherwise generated from businesses who would have had to spend for such straightforward sales. Facebook's also announced new measures to crack down upon and remove child exploitation material. Based on learnings from working with authorities on abusive material to date, the social network is rolling out new policies that include a series of warnings on particular searches. And when you engage with certain content, they're rolling out improved detection capabilities and also new reporting tools as well. It is unfortunate and disappointing that Facebook has to do all this, but any platform that has more than 3 billion users will inevitably have to deal with some sort of malevolence. Sheryl Sandberg, Facebook's chief operating officer, has just published a new, fairly comprehensive state of small business report to investigate what COVID-19 has done to small businesses in the US. And meanwhile, upstart live audio platform Clubhouse has come under fire for data security breaches. Not unlike Zoom early last year, the platform's huge growth inevitably means that there will be some teething issues, and data security keeps being a big one for growing networks. This particular breach was courtesy of a user streaming Clubhouse audio feeds from rooms straight to their own website, but previous breaches have included Clubhouse audio being made available straight through GitHub. Similarly to TikTok data concerns last year, Clubhouse is routing a lot of its backend through China. If you're not on the Clubhouse train because of data security reservations or because you don't have an invite yet, don't forget about Twitter Space. On the flip side of the audio content spectrum, Spotify is working on a tool to convert written blog posts from WordPress into audio content. Spotify owns popular podcast distribution network Anchor, and so that's the tool that would work through. And Spotify's massive investment in podcast king Joe Rogan last year means that you should expect to see them continue to try and produce as much owned content as possible, because everyone's just trying to be Netflix. As part of the WordPress integration rollout, though, Spotify is also letting more users add video to their podcasts, which might remind you of another popular medium that we like to call television. That's all from us. Don't forget you can read the rest of the article on the website, and don't forget to stay tuned for more next week. Thanks.